My name is Spencer Schultz. I'm a training and adoption strategist with Sales Boomerang. Wanted to help make you guys as comfortable and confident as possible, segueing from our decently powerful, doing some curls, debt watch alert to our massive 1,000-pound gorilla that's going to bench press a house in our cash out alert. So debt watch is going to be no more. We're adding a little bit more power to it in the cash out alert. We've had great success with many of our lender partners here over the last year or so since we've rolled out cash out. So today's goal is going to be showing you how cash out alerts provide the intelligence that you can't find anywhere else combined in the lending industry. I dare anyone that is viewing this to reach out if you can find better. I assure you that you can't. So today, guys, we're going to be focusing on the sunset of debt watch. What was debt watch and how we're moving to cash out and what the best practices are to ultimately get ahead of the market using that alert. Again, Spencer Schultz, training and adoption strategist here with Sales Boomerang. We're going to be doing another one of these tomorrow. We've got a ton of awesome Sales Boomerang University content upcoming this month, next month, and always and forever. Very excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I appreciate your time so much. So, Debt Watch, what was it? Debt Watch was a really powerful alert. It was a very specific alert as well. We work directly with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. We don't work with Credit Karma or some sort of, newfangled 2022 app. So we get the revolving debt from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So the Debt Watch was a specific alert that was not customizable. A little bit of a preview to what cash out is in some ways, but wasn't customizable. We were going to show you 4 things. Call it the and alert Debt Watch. We were showing you 680 and above FICO tier. So getting that out of the way, we know they're at least 680. We know they've got a minimum of $10,000 in revolving credit card debt. We knew that their LTV was 70% or better. In other words, they had at least 30% equity, and their home value was at least $250,000. So the power of this alert obviously was the versatility of it ultimately, so that we can have a conversation about consolidating debt. We can also have a conversation about how other ways we can use our equity ultimately. We can have a conversation about moving up, moving down, consolidating debt, all of those kinds of things using this alert. So understanding all of those was a big paramount thing for us, giving you that exact threshold. Here is 250K in home value, exactly 70% or better, exactly 10,000 or above, exactly 680. It was versatile, but it was rigid in many ways. So what we were able to do here to help, the average American consumer, they had 6,200 in debt. That's a lot, especially a lot of, younger or a lot of up and coming families carrying that debt. Suddenly, the average debt was $6,200 just about. Suddenly that compound interest gets you. Suddenly it's 10K. Suddenly it's 15K. Suddenly you can't escape it. You're paying 20, 24, 28, 30% interest on that compounding interest. You can't get away from it. It happens to so many in this country and all over the world, especially in the United States, that we carry more debt than anyone else. At the same time here, guys, according to CoreLogic, just in between the last year, Q1 to Q2, the average American homeowner gained somewhere around $64,000 in equity. So where does the borrower fall in that? Do they have $6,000 of debt? Do they have $20,000 of debt? Do they have, 30,000 in equity? Do they have 64,000 in equity? How much of that is actually tappable? All of these questions we have. So Debt Watch was giving us a little bit of an insight into the world of debt, into the trillions of dollars of debt and the trillions of dollars of equity, somewhere around there. We have a good threshold. They're pretty well qualified as well. That leads us into the cash out alert here, guys. This is a fully customizable alert. So as opposed to the parameters of the 680 credit score, the 70% LTV, the 250,000 in home value, cash out is going to be fully customizable. We can set, if we want to see a 580 credit score, we can see it. If we want to see 350K in home value, we can see it. If we want to see at least 50% equity, and within that, how much of an improvement from closing did they have? Did they start, at 80% equity? Now they're at 50. They've had a 30% improvement since their last loan. We can see that. Plus, we can customize the debt. Do we want to see 50,000 and above? Do we want to see 20,000 and above? Do we want to see, all the way down to 1,000 and above? So we're able to customize all of these settings. So the first thing I want to do really is remove just cash out refinances from your mind here. This is not only for cash out refinances. This is for every loan. With this, guys, you can see here the hypothetical borrower, Joe Smith. We know his LTV. We know if he has a HELOC balance within that. We know his home value. We know his debt position, his FICO score, all of these things. This is just providing us relevant information in any of those 4 capacities to have that conversation with Joe to find out his goals. It doesn't have to lead to a cash out refinance. Does this alert work very well for cash out refinances? Absolutely. But this could be having a conversation about how much equity Joe has. Maybe he can go do a purchase. Maybe he can upsize using his equity, or maybe he can go purchase a second home, a vacation home, turn it into a rental home, any of those things. This is an incredibly versatile alert, even more so than Debt Watch, because we can tailor the settings of it to show exactly what we want to see. So again, just as with any sales boomerang product, it's not just for the cash out. Or it's not just for, oh, this person had their credit pulled, or, oh, this person has listed their home for sale. All of these insights work together for refi loans, for purchase loans, for HELOCs, all of it. Every alert that we offer is for every loan. This is how we get ahead of the market using a cash out alert. This is how we're able to make our pipeline, make our database based on meeting our borrowers' goals by using these alerts to lead to relevant conversations, finding out borrowers' goals, and then striking when the iron's hot. The average American consumer right now, the average American homeowner does about 11 mortgage transactions on average. Well, number one, using this alert, we can stay ahead of other lenders to help retain the Joe Smiths here. We can also use this alert to stay ahead of the market as well. We can beat out these high rate environments. We can beat out purchase heavy or refi heavy by leaning into borrowers' goals here, guys. We can also increase that number. It's 11 right now. Hey, we can show every time a borrower strikes, we can help them do 15 instead of 11 over their lifetime. Every time they can benefit, we can help them, use their equity to meet goals, establish wealth, get a second property, find passive income, have a rainy day fund or a sunny day fund, as I like to call it. All of those are possible through the cash out alert. All of those are possible through the symbiotic relationship that all of our alerts have together. We're telling the story of the borrower. You just need to make the call, send the text, send the email, and ask a borrower a couple of questions. Let's find out about their goals. I like to say, let's be interested in the borrower's goals as opposed to trying to be interesting. We're not rate jockeys using Sales Boomerang. We're mortgage advisors. We're mortgage professionals. We can tell a borrower, hey, based on the information you've told me about your goals, we use this cash out alert. We can call it a annual mortgage health review. We can call, hey, just wanted to call. Here's, a couple ways that borrowers in your situation are using their equity or using their situation to their benefit. Ask them about their goals. And hey, maybe they are in the best loan. So why don't we tell them that, relieve their financial stress, become their best financial friend, as opposed to trying to push them into something else, sell them into something that maybe might not be in their benefit for their goals. The cash out alert provides the best opportunity for that because we have the most clear and full picture of that borrower's not only mortgage health, but financial health as well. We know what their revolving debt is. We also know their credit tier. We have a pretty good snapshot of what their financial health is as well. So here's an example of all that information, guys. We also know their rate. We know the total balance of their loan. We know their tappable equity, all of that. And then bam, there's the revolving debt on top of it as well. So cash out is the most powerful tool in the mortgage intelligence space today. Again, I dare you to find something that is more powerful in the mortgage space today. So with that being said, guys, I wanted to get into all of our alerts. We have some new ones. We have some old ones. We have ones that we've tweaked. Well, all of them we have tweaked, but here's our full product suite ultimately, guys. So with that being said, cash out, if you're being sunsetted off of Debt Watch, I like to think of these ones, the prescriptive scenario alerts here, as the ands. Again, we know credit qualified, and with FHA MI removal, we know that they're credit qualified and they could remove their mortgage insurance. With the rate and term loan alert, we could know they are credit qualified and their minimum home value and their equity position, and if they could benefit from a rate and term, from a refinance, from saving monthly. We can find those monthly savings, all of these things. But we can also use a really wide net with our non-credit alerts, our equities, our listing alerts, guys. We're capable of shooting these alerts out saying, hey, here's everyone who has tappable equity, or here's everyone who's listing their home for sale, regardless of credit information, and having a conversation, getting ahead of their next loan. Then we have our core credit alerts as well, guys. Mortgage inquiry, we let you know when someone has had their credit pulled by another lender. credit improvement, when their credit score has shot up, they're now credit qualified, they were turned down previously, we can get them into another loan. All of these alerts, again, guys, tell the story of a borrower's full life. I want to go back and talk about those 11 mortgage transactions. All of these situations will occur in a borrower's lifetime, for purchase, for refi, for everything. So using Sales Boomerang, we beat the market, we beat other lenders because we know when a borrower can accomplish their goals using this database intelligence that we have here, guys. And again, our life event alerts work perfectly. Hey, if we get a cash out alert on someone over here, we know all of that information we went over. And hey, we also know that they were just recently married, or we just know that they added to their family, they had a kid. Well, we have such a complete understanding. Well, they might want to upsize. They might want to move to a better area with better schools. We know so much about a borrower's goals, so much about a borrower's capabilities, so much about their stresses and their fears. Through all of these alerts together, we can be a lender for life. We can come together and help them maximize the peaks and minimize the valleys ultimately, guys. So as usual, all of my takeaways here for every single one of these SBUs, guys. The first one, if you don't call a cash out alert, if you don't send a text, if you don't send an email, if you don't have automated marketing set up, if you get an alert and you do nothing with it, you're never going to close a loan. That borrower is going to go somewhere else eventually. You might as well not have Sales Boomerang if you're not going to follow up. Why would you not want to follow up? Who would you rather speak with today? Would you rather speak with someone where you know their equity position, you know that they're credit qualified, you know their home value, and you know their revolving debt? Or would you rather call a lead that you got from Lending Tree, or maybe a referral that you got, from an open house a couple months ago? You don't know a ton of information. If you get a cash out alert, you should be ecstatic. Who would you rather talk to? I would rather talk to that person where I know all that information. I am confident, I have relevant insight, and I can help them meet their goals. If you don't, you're not going to close the loan. Simply put, guys, again, if you don't ask a borrower, you won't know. So I have an example of a borrower about 6 weeks ago where they received a cash out alert on a borrower that they had helped quite a few times, someone that they were with for quite some time. So it was a little bit different. They did have a really good relationship ahead of time, but she was actually coming into his office to gift her son a down payment on his home. Great mother, great gift. If you ask me, I'll take that one every time. But she was coming in to gift and he had a cash out alert. He had recalled and taken down in his notes previously that she was looking to retire soon. Her and her husband were looking to, finally sail into retirement. And she was looking to maybe move somewhere closer to the beach down the line here in the next few years. And absolutely was interested in using, her equity in some way to supplement her Social Security, supplement her pension, supplement her retirement income. So he said, how about this? What if we used your equity? Apparently her home was almost free and clear, almost completely paid off. What if we use your equity, bought that place, that you want to? We can start looking. I can get you pre-approved. We can go find in that exact area you wanted. Buy that place. You can use it as a vacation home for a little while. We can get you into a rental loan after a year. Then until you want to move there for good, you can use that place as an Airbnb. You can have some passive income. You can rent it out, all using a cash out alert. He got so creative. He asked that borrower about her goals. If you don't ask, you won't know. You won't know if they're interested in getting a rent in potentially, getting an Airbnb. You won't know if they're interested in upsizing or downsizing if you don't ask. Let's be interested in our borrowers as opposed to being interesting. Finally here, guys, always, we want to get closure out of every alert and every conversation. I like to think of it as this always. We've got our greens, our yellows, and our reds. We make the call. We ask the borrower questions. And hey, maybe it was a red. Maybe they weren't interested. They're good to go. Or there's nothing they can do right now. They're locked down, very cold to the conversation. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to mark that as red. I'm going to take notes about all of it, my CRM or my system that I work in, and then I'm going to move on. I'm going to close that alert out. It's done. It's finished. I'm going to take it out of the queue. That's fine. We moved on. Then we've got our yellows. All right, well, maybe it was this cash out alert and we ended up having a conversation about, setting up a HELOC or setting up, a cash out refinance. And borrower was like, I'm very interested, but actually, Spencer, right now I'm away for the summer. Me and my wife are with the kids visiting family at the beach until the kids come back to school. September is really busy for us too. Could you give me a call around October or when X, Y, or Z happens in the market? Yeah, I take my notes down, file that one as yellow, give myself a reminder, a task when I should follow up. And then I move on. I got closure out of that one. Then I've got my greens, my green lights. I'm good to go. Maybe I pulled credit. Maybe I got them pre-approved. Maybe I took the step where I need to urgently this week. On Friday, they said was a better time. Their husband's home from work and, or their wife's home from work. And that's a better time to sit down and have the full conversation, pull credit, see where they're at. Fantastic. That's my green. I've got hard deadlines this week or today or tomorrow. Ultimately, my greens, my yellows, my reds. I get closure out of every alert and every conversation here, guys. But that about wraps it up. Just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. The cash out alert is fully customizable. Please speak with your CSM, your customer success manager, to talk about ways that cash out can be customized. We can start by, hey, let's go with super heavy credit qualified. Let's go with super high equity position and a decent bit of debt that they're carrying, let's say 15K plus. So that way we can refine it over time. We can loosen those parameters as we get more confident, kind of shooting the fish in the barrel at first with really obvious situations in front of borrowers, and then refining it, seeing more opportunities. This should be a guiding light for you while loan volume is down, hopefully picking up here in the next few months. But that about wraps it up for me. Thank you so much for attending Sales Boomerang University. We've got a ton of great ones coming. We're going to tell you how to get ahead of the market here August 23rd. Make sure you don't miss that one. You'll be receiving some registrations in your inbox. That about does it for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today and look forward to getting you guys more loans and helping more borrowers. Thank you so much.